Hello and welcome to another episode of Diablo 4 gameplay. Today I'm going to talk about the Chain Lightning build that I talked about in a couple of videos ago. At that time I was doing it at level 40 or 50 for the Nightmare dungeons, and I mentioned that we'll see how it holds in the higher level dungeons. So today this was the time that I did the Nightmare 100. Here is a few things in this one. That dungeon, there was a lot of physical damage, a lot of poison damage, and for some reason I think that the poison damage is probably bugged or something, that it is insane that once it goes off it takes few potions to actually recover from it, and you will see it during this fight that the poison damage I was taking was massive. So a few things to when you are doing higher level dungeons, at least from my experience, that I find is very helpful, that if you can have it more than one weight on your shoes. I have 4. It just so happens that I managed to get the gear in a way that I can afford to have 4 weights without sacrificing a lot of damage. Second, I actually have 3 charges of Frost Nova as well. That's another additional crowd control, because in these dungeons you do want to have as much crowd control as much possible, because irrespective of what your gear is, how much your damage is, there is certain type of damage which you may not be able to handle. Especially what I've seen is that the physical damage, and on top of that, when the poison damage or some other kind of elemental damage happens, it can be devastating. So main thing is, during this whole fight or for any higher level fights, you're gonna have to keep it. And if you have more than one evade, that is really helpful, especially in this build. Anytime I use my evade, because the cooldown, it gives me a barrier up, and that is pretty helpful. Next thing you want to, because I'm using this, because this is a Chain Lightning build, a lot of mobs I can take care from range itself. I don't have to get into the melee range, and then I'm also using extra signet ring. That also helps because of explosions that goes off in the range, that take care of some of the monsters as well. So during this fight, I definitely took a lot of damage, but my constant movement was of big help. You probably will see that I used up all my lives in there. The ones that the revives that were remaining were available to me, I used up all 4, and when I finished this dungeon I really had no revive. One thing I found, that in the higher level dungeons, it's not the boss that is of big trouble. Bosses are always easy to handle. It's the monsters throughout the whole dungeon that are a really pain in the neck. That has been my observation throughout all the Nightmare dungeons. So this is what it is, that the Chain Lightning build that I created. It helps, it works at all the way up to Nightmare 100. All the chains that I made. Instead of using Chain Lightning, I use the ball lightning on enchant spot space, and that provided me a lot of burst damage every time I used my cooldown. So during this fight, actually for all fights, every time I want to get into some kind of a big fight or a big lump of monsters, I have to wait. I do want to wait for my cooldowns to be up. I don't want to be some kind of a-hole that thinking that I'm a god or something, that I can do it. Trust me, when the damage goes off, and especially like again the damage like poison damage, that is very insane. You don't want to have your cooldown, as many cooldowns up, especially your crowd control, because you don't want these monsters to be able to get off their attack. especially again because physical attacks are very devastating, and then the elemental damage on top of that, that can be a problem. And especially when you have a fix like blood blister or the death pulse, you again, your movement is the key in all these dungeons, because when you have all these clumped up monsters, and on top of that, when these volcano, death pulse, those kind of affixes go off, you may not be able to see it. So the best thing is, at least what I find, is you run into the group, do a damage for about 2 seconds, then move. Again, do damage for about 2 seconds, then move. Keep doing this. You will survive. It will not be a big issue. And make sure that you have all the potions up every time when you see. Make sure that you are running with the max potions, because certain damage, especially damage over time, like poison, you want to recover from as fast as possible, because you probably will find during this fight, when I had my last death, I had a lot of damage at that time on me. I was pretty much down to 0 health, and I tried to run away and got into a safe spot, but as I was recovering, and a monster came up, and from the range it hit me with an arrow and dead. So you want to make sure that at every chance you get, you want to be at 100% health. Don't ever think that, oh, I can survive this half of my health. No, you will not know when something is going to hit you from the range. So keep your health at the maximum possible. So again, to wrap it up, in the Nightmare dungeons at a higher level, movement is the key to all these dungeons. Damage is good, but your survival is what you need. So damage, your movement is the number 1. Second is the crowd control. Third is keep yourself high at some full health all the time. It's not just full health is going to help you in survival. There are certain skills that do require you to be at the max health, so they can do more damage. If you have barriers abilities, make sure you are running with full barriers as much as possible. And that's all you will need. You will survive. And again, I have done few of these Nightmare 100. Of course, there have been instances I've been pretty much railed at the very beginning of the dungeon, and I had to abandon it. Because again, mostly I was not being careful. I thought that, and other thing is I was experimenting to see that how much I can slack, meaning that how much I can handle. So I was trying to experiment with few things that not being efficient, waiting to use my crowd control, waiting to use my immunities and everything. So, alright, that's all to it, and good luck. If you have any questions, feel free to put that in the comment. I'll be more than happy to answer it. Happy hunting. Bye-bye.
I need time to prepare that. I'm not ready yet. I need more time. I need time to prepare that. I'm not ready yet. I need time. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I need more time. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I need time.